Before the video begins, here's a little disclaimer. All scenes from the movie used in this review belong to Universal Studios and Amblin Entertainment. Thank you, Steven Spielberg. Hello YouTube, welcome to MadDino Productions. I'm your host, Mr. MadDino, King of the Dinosaurs, coming at you with my first video as an Animoji. You see, during my time as a YouTuber, I've come to the point in which I decide to do something different and new for my channel, something that very few people have done. And so, I'm proud to say that this is the style that I'll be using for my reviewing videos. Most of the movies that I'll be reviewing on my channel are movies that are made by the biggest name in the filming industry, the greatest director of all time, Steven Spielberg. Spielberg, one of the greatest movie directors of our time. This guy is the mind behind so many iconic movies, some of which include E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Back to the Future, Ready Player One, and the movie we're reviewing right now, Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park. In my opinion, it is one of Steven Spielberg's greatest triumphs. The other two being Back to the Future and Ready Player One. Jurassic Park. How do I begin? Well, it is best to begin from the top. In 1990, author Michael Crichton created one of his most iconic and well-known best-selling books of all time. It was so good, in fact, that he created a sequel, The Lost World, which came out 5 years later. When Spielberg met Crichton, and Crichton shared his ideas about making a novel about a dinosaur zoo, Spielberg was immediately hooked, and began work on a movie adaptation of Crichton's idea. And on June 11th, 1993, Spielberg's work had finally paid off as Jurassic Park opened its gates to worldwide acclaim. People were amazed by the screenplay, the action sequences, and Spielberg's creative direction. Down to every little action detail, down to every animatronic, everything that Spielberg was responsible for. What makes the dinosaurs seem so believable in this movie is this movie's knack of using both animatronics and CGI. And of course, there's Spielberg's sound mixing for the T-Rex.
Boy, my head being right all the time.
Also, bear in mind, this is Spielberg's second dinosaur movie after the soul-shattering animation that is The Land Before Time. What? I'm not crying, you're crying. Well, don't get me wrong, Jurassic Park remains one of my favorite movies of all time, but no movie's perfect, you know. There are a few flaws here, a few flaws there, a few little continuity errors. It takes a few liberties from the novel. Hey, before we start the review, I just want to say, click that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. Be sure to watch for new videos, and follow me on Instagram as MadDino Productions. You done that already? Good. Now let's begin this review. Our movie begins on a tropical island, where a group of men stand heavily armed as something moves through the underbrush towards them. Ooh, it's something big. Here comes the dinosaur. Here it comes. It's a box. Yes, welcome to Isla Nublar, an island 120 miles west of Costa Rica. Yeah, read the fine print there, buddy. Yes, these strange men are loading what looks like a dangerous dinosaur into its pen, instead of making sure that it's fully tranked before doing so. A decision they will soon come to regret, right about... yeah, right there. Oh my gosh! Oh, that face! Did you see that face that sucker made? It was like, oh! Forgive me for doing this, but... oh! Oh! I'm done. The team tries to free the worker, but their tasers do nothing as an animatronic eye just stands there and stares at them. All the while the leader tries to pull the worker free while ordering the other men to
Shoot her! Shoot her! I let them slip through my fingers.
we don't have time to worry about him now. Now, it's time to meet our main protagonist, Dr. Alan Grant, whose hobbies include digging up dinosaur bones, analyzing them on the computer, and traumatizing children with them.
And he slashes at you with this 6-inch retractable claw, like a razor, on the middle toe. He slashes at you here or here.
Hey, honey? Yeah, that babysitter you recommended? Can you unrecommend him? Can we get Mary Poppins instead? But we don't have time to worry about that kid now, because now it's time to meet one of our other characters, an entrepreneur named John Hammond, played by Richard Attenborough.
I gotta see it.
Hammond has come to invite Alan and paleobotanist Ellie Sadler to visit his park and approve it before it releases the following year.
I own an island off the coast of Costa Rica. I've leased it from the government, and I've spent the last 5 years setting up a kind of biological preserve. Really spectacular, spared no expense.
He says that a lot in this movie, not even bothering to tell them that a worker just died in the previous scene on said island.
What kind of park is this?
Oh, money?
I've got a jet standing by in Choco.
At first, the two seem reluctant to even go, but when Hammond mentions money, well...
Where's the plane?
Wonderful! Here's to us. Oh, what could go wrong? So they take off for the island in a chopper, which is not the plane from Chacho, and we're introduced to one of our other leads. Say hello to Ian Malcolm, played by Jeff Goldblum, a mathematician who immediately has the hots for Dr. Sadler. You know what's funny? We haven't even gotten to the island yet, and already we're getting a glimpse of an animal already. Look at this. Well, hey, it was either Jeff Goldblum or Christopher Walken. Who would you pick? But that's enough of the rare Goldblum's mating call, because now we're entering Isla Nublar. They land the chopper and they drive out into an open field where they get a glimpse of their first dinosaur.
The Veriformin's been extinct since the Cretaceous period. I mean, this thing is about this thing. What?
It's the Warner Brothers.
And the Warner sister.
He did it. That crazy son of a gun.
We then get our first full-scale shot of a dinosaur when we meet the Brachiosaurus, a beautiful blend of CGI and a beautiful scene that will be parodied again in the train wreck of the 21st century. But we'll cover that in Fallen Kingdom. But as breathtaking as this scene is, there's only one thing that Gennaro, Hammond's lawyer, is interested in.
We're gonna make a fortune with this place.
Money!
Ma.
T-Rex? You said you've got a T-Rex?
Say again.
We have a T-Rex.
Pinky in the Brain? You said you're bringing back Pinky in the Brain?
Say it again. We're bringing back Pinky and the Brain.
Come on now, it's not copyright if it's all made by the same guy, am I right? And now it's time for Hammond's iconic line right next to Spare No Expense.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
And for this review, I'll give a special treat of a deleted concept that was in this scene but got scrapped by Spielberg. You're welcome, Jurassic fans. Hammond explains how he created the dinosaurs using clones of himself and a Chuck Jones cartoon. No, really, he actually used that. Look at this.
A DNA strand like me is a blueprint for building a living thing.
Can you seriously look at this and tell me that it doesn't belong in a Looney Tunes cartoon? John Hammond's little Mickey Mouse explains that back in the age of dinosaurs, mosquitoes were caught in amber, and scientists were able to replicate the DNA that they consumed from dinosaur blood to make dinosaurs. They also mention that they used the DNA of frogs to fill in the gene sequence gaps in their DNA. Why do they not use reptiles, you ask? Well, scientists are stupid. That's the answer. Oh, you see that scientist guy right there? Yeah, that one there. Don't worry about him. He's not going to be any bit of important to any future movies. Right? Right? While we watch a baby dinosaur hatch from its egg, we learn from unimportant Dr. Guy, aka Dr. Wu, that all the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park are female to prevent unauthorized breeding. But Goldblum isn't sold on this, however, and he questions Dr. Wu while everyone else just goes along with it la-di-dink-and-da.
Tempting is, it's not possible. Listen, if there's one thing the history of evolution has taught us, it's that life will not be contained. Life breaks free.
You're implying that a group composed entirely of female animals will breed?
No, I'm simply saying that life, finds a way.
I think that we should allow our magnificent, glorious dinosaurs to be taken out by the volcano.
This is the same guy, right? Quite the transition, huh? And then we move on to our next scene Hold it right there, Mr. MadDino. That would be quite enough of that. Hey, look at this, viewers. It's my good friend, Rattlebones the Copyright Skull. Let's give him a big hand, you guys. So, what are you doing here, Rattlebones? Well, Mr. MadDino, I've come to make sure that we avoid the possibility of any copyright strikes. And here to help me with that, I've brought another friend of ours. Where is he anyway? Hey, Rattlebones, what was that, my cue? Hey, look everybody. It's my other friend. Please give a round of applause for Buford Bull. I'm a cow. Moving on from that scene, we are then introduced to Hammond's grandkids as his daughter's getting divorced as the big tour begins. All the while, this character Dennis Nedry is trying to sabotage the park. Hey, Rattlebones? Yeah, I just got this in the script. You don't mind if we sing a little song to welcome this next scene, do you? Well, I see nothing wrong with it, as long as it's not anything too foolish or... I'm gonna sing a song for you. And ripping down the fence, she's coming through. We'll have some fun now as she eats all the gas. Ain't no doubt about it, Rexy is the best. Singing, na na na, Rexy's the best. Na na na, Rexy's the best. Na na na, Rexy's the best. Meanwhile, Fatboy Nedry gets turned around when trying to escape the island, and then the unthinkable happens. Yeah, you heard that right. A Tom and Jerry sound effect caused him to slip down the hill. At this point, it looks like Nedry is about to get away scot-free, turning off the power on the island and causing Gennaro to get eaten. Nothing to see here. This wasn't anything like it was in the book. You know, the one that was possibly rated R.
The dinosaur had torn him open. His guts had fallen out.
So after Goldblum and the others escape from Rexy, Grant and Hammond's grandkids find out that the dinosaurs are actually breeding in the wild. How is this possible, you ask? Well, Grant actually explains in full detail.
Now, some West African frogs have been known to spontaneously change sex from male to female in a single-sex environment.
It's like how Marlo was to become a girl in Finding Nemo, right, Mr. MadDino? That's right, Buford. That's right. It's then revealed that with the power out, the velociraptors have broken out of their pen to go sightseeing. Ellie then makes a mad dash towards the power shed, becoming 1993's first female American Ninja Warrior. And just as Grant was starting to warm up to the kids, Ellie has to go ahead and inadvertently shock one of them to near death with an electric fence. Please ask these people to babysit your kids. I would love to watch the show. I'd love to review it for my future. Just as Ellie is celebrating her attempt on a child's life, a velociraptor animatronic comes through the walls and scares her half to death. But hey, who the heck am I to judge? Because Grant still leaves the kids alone in the abandoned visitor center that's filled with dangerous velociraptors. We then find out that these animals, unlike the other dinosaurs, are highly intelligent because they know how to open doors. After an iconically edgy scene of two kids hiding from two adults in raptor suits, they both manage to lock one of the raptors in the freezer to freeze to death, while they flee the other one back into Grant's negligent arms. So the group manages to get to the control room but find themselves cornered by one of the raptors. Ellie and Grant try to hold the door while Tim just smacks the back of his sister's chair. That's real useful. Thanks a lot, Tim. You're the best. Don't ever change a thing, bud. But Lex, being the tentacle whiz that she is, hacks into the system and turns the power back on. But there's still no time to celebrate because the raptors are still hot on their trail and then chase them back into the visitor center. All seems lost for our heroes now as they are surrounded by the two surviving raptors. What could possibly save our heroes now? There is no possible. Oh my god. We then get our heroes escaping the island in that chopper we saw from the beginning, as Island finally comes to terms with children possibly wanting to get one in Dominion. Hey you kids, wake up, it's a pelican, and it's not CGI. Pretty water too, there's a sunset, time to end the movie. Okay, so, what are my thoughts on Jurassic Park? I love it. It remains one of my favorite movies to this day. As a child, I would only watch the scenes with the dinosaurs in them, but all these years later, as an adult, I have a newfound respect for it in these main points, the main points of the movie that I would like to share. First of all, it's the story. Now, there are a bumper crop of movies that have been adapted from books, but when you want to make a movie from one like Jurassic Park, which was a possibly rated R book with gruesome deaths, you want to make something that's a little different, and this movie has it executed brilliantly. Secondly, they gotta have good characters. I mean, I recently learned about the hero's journey aspect of a story, and Alan Grant seems to go through one throughout the movie. He starts out as a disgruntled paleontologist who has a dislike for children. But as the story goes on, they just start to grow on him. And he has a newfound respect for children. Gosh, they even made a character like John Hammond even more likable than in the book. I mean, in the novel by Michael Crichton, John Hammond was labeled a born showman, a man obsessed with money. He had little love for his grandchildren and seemed rather indifferent to his daughter getting a divorce, which is also canon in this movie, but it's only like one sentence, but so yeah, who cares? And finally of all, you gotta have good special effects. Well, this movie has them too. As mentioned in the opening of the video, all the dinosaurs were either CGI or animatronic or a little bit of both. Sure, you could see the strings on the Dilophosaurus when it was killing Dennis Nedry, but with the T-Rex, you could tell that she was likable. You can never go wrong with Rexy now, can you? This movie was responsible for making dinosaurs likable again, with the iconic scenes inspiring low-budget knockoffs, and the franchise itself gaining multiple merchandise, and some modern-day sequels, which I will review in the future. There are like 4 sequels that have gone on even to this day, and one coming out next year. How can it make up for Fallen Kingdom? Okay, well, that about wraps up this video. Before I leave, I just wanted to say, be sure to click that like button and share this video. And if you haven't, why not think about subscribing to my channel? Yes, well. Anyways, that's all the time I have now. Stay tuned for more prehistoric reviews.